whether it's 7 in the morning or 8 at night, 8:30 at night, it's Sideline Sports time. We got Dave DeRocher, John Shear,
I'm sorry.
Jake Malik, and myself,
I'm
JB
really-
Ellis. For those of you on
trying
the
to get
radio,
together.
you're missing it. We got John Shear has taken off his mask, and we're seeing his true
I'm
beauty now.
Frankenstein, man.
I thought you were wearing a mask all the other weeks.
I got my hands,
Oh my God!
Oh.
You know,
bow tie.
it's funny you say that because John, I was looking at you before, and I like out of the bottom of the corner of your screen, I thought I caught a glimpse of green, and I go, oh, I wonder what that is because he's wearing a black sweatshirt. I go, I wonder what that green is, but I wasn't gonna bother to ask. I figured it was nothing, like a bracelet or something. Nope.
But we
You're just showing your true self.
Frankenstein.
We got a packed show for you tonight. We got a boxer out of Atlanta that's going to be joining us in a minute. We're going to talk some great football, including, unfortunately, the Falcons who lost this week. Yes,
Thanks,
I'm with.
Mike. Thank you.
I'm with that. That was the best John has ever looked. We got some
Thank
World
you, Mike.
Series stuff. James Harden got traded. Cousins got injured. All that and more on Sideline Sports tonight. But let's not wait any longer. Let's bring in Alex Jabbour, a boxer out of the Atlanta area, originally from New Jersey. Alex, welcome to the show.
Jersey represent.
So, Alex, you were originally a football player. You were playing for one of the pro leagues. They had folded, and you switched to boxing. So, what skills did football help you take into boxing? It was an easy transition.
Actually, give me one
Alex, you there?
second. I'm having a hard time hearing you guys.
I was
come
just
out
gonna
and come
say.
back in. Go out and then come back in.
Well, while Alex is having technical difficulties, hey Mike, do me a favor and shut your mouth. If you got something to say, come on screen and talk, brother. You know that. You know the screen is always open for you. Otherwise, shut your mouth. The Cowboys aren't going anywhere. You're gonna lose the 49ers like you do every year.
So, Dave,
Just
you were
JB.
you were a pro football player. Did
I
you ever
was.
think about going into boxing?
So it's funny. I'm trying to figure out how to start this story because I'll keep it brief though. When I was in Montreal, I got into doing some acting, and I was on a TV show called First and 10 with OJ, and then we would have guys on like Kevin Green and LT and Marcus Allen. Anyhow, it was a HBO series, and we had Larry Holmes on. And this is back when I was big. I was about 350 pounds, working out, every day, 22-inch arms. And so hanging out, and Larry walks by, he goes, damn, man. He goes, you're big. He goes, I will train you for free. And I'm like, hey, that sounds great, Larry. Give me your number. I'll call you. I had no interest whatsoever in being a boxer.
you just said yes to be nice.
And this is I think it's probably before Tyson, but I watched enough boxing to know they hit you in the gut, man. And I have never done a sit up, so no, I'm good.
Wow.
I'm strong, I'm big, but I'm not taking those body blows.
So before Alex gets back, I got to say he's fighting under a great promoter. The name of the company is JB Promotions. Now, if you're going to tell me that there's not a better boxing promoter's name for a company, as soon as I heard it, I was like, you see, you get it. So if you're in Atlanta and you like boxing, look for JB's Promotions. It's coming up November 11th. They got a nice card set with a lot of up-and-coming fighters. Hopefully Alex can come back and join us in a few moments. But until then, there's a lot of stuff we have to discuss.
Now I know why he's on the show. All right. That makes sense.
Exactly.
JB's all about personal growth.
I mean, listen, I ran into a guy named JB at the Super Bowl at the Sports Illustrated party. He was like my best friend. If you're JB, that's it.
Are you sure you weren't talking to yourself in a mirror?
I'm positive.
Okay.
I am told. John witnessed it.
I did,
All right.
unfortunately.
Unfortunately, why 2 JBs is a bad thing.
And,
Let's get
Yeah.
let's get to the Falcons game. Let's talk about Ritter goes out, right? He gets a concussion, which, according to some people on this panel,
Does concussion mean he stinks?
Yes.
There are going to be some people that are happy with this. And Heineke came in, but they couldn't come back. They ended up losing. They fall to 1-3 on the road. They lose 2 out of 3. I mean, is Heineke the answer? Is Ritter the answer, or do they have to look somewhere else?
I mean,
has Heineke ever been the answer?
He stepped in. He stepped in admirably in Washington whenever they needed a spark.
Yeah.
The answer is none of them, if I'm being honest. But
well, between which is the lesser of 2 evils.
Right. Well, I was gonna say the answer is reset everything. But yes, I mean, I'd probably prefer Heineke. I mean, John, you kind of alluded to it. I mean, I've seen him play at least, and I've seen him play. I don't know if I'd call it great, but I'd call it probably good. I think that's fair to say, right?
He can throw the football, something Ritter can't really do. I mean, I said it last week on the show. I said, and I've been saying it, I said they're getting close to pulling Ritter because he's not good, and they need a spark. And Heineke, he's not an elite quarterback. He's not even top 15, but he's better than Ritter, and he can throw the football downfield. And if you at least have that, it opens up the run game, which is what you want to do. And it allows Drake London and Kyle Pitts to stretch the field, which is what you want from your 2 best offensive weapons, is stretch the field.
Agreed.
So we saw when Heineke stepped in against the Titans, he was able to start chucking it. And again, he's not elite. He's not good or great, but he's better than Ritter. And I mean, I know it's not hard to do, but
hey, JB,
he looked okay.
JB, you kind of brought this topic up last week about when that team is sputtering a little bit, and what are some of the things that need to be done. And we talked about coaching and also just a change of pace. And when somebody's just struggling, I mean, the kid, I think he's a great athlete. I don't know what kind of leader quarterback he's going to end up being, Ritter, but I don't think this Heineke is a horrible change of pace, just to maybe get things going a little bit.
Listen, I'm going to have the final word of this topic.
Hold on.
Heineke
John, just
could be the
favor.
answer.
What?
Stop drinking, please, because I can't take you seriously.
I don't.
Stop. Please stop.
Oh, what were you saying, JB?
I'm good. We can move on now.
All right.
And we're moving on to
Well,
the Eagles have struggled with the Commanders twice this year.
Thank you. Well, John,
hey,
I know you're happy.
I said it last week. You guys wanted to jump over this game. You guys, on the Sunday show, you guys talked about, there's not much to this game. But I warned you guys the first time that they played, they went to overtime. And last year, the first loss the Eagles had, was it against very same Commanders. For whatever reason, this team gives the Eagles fits. I don't know why. I don't know how. They get smacked by the Bears, but then they take the Eagles to the brink 2 times this year, and they beat them last year. It makes absolutely no sense. I understand they play in the same division, but I don't understand how the Commanders keep doing this. They give the Eagles absolute trouble. It just makes no sense to me.
Well, we see this though. We see this in a few matchups with teams that are superior teams that struggle with lesser teams, and it's a consistent season over season. Even with the players changing, there's just certain matchups, to your point, that work like this. And I don't know if I like the theme of this show already, where John's been right twice on 2 topics.
Nobody ever likes
it. Right about Ritter. You've been right about Ritter. Since the season started, and you were right about the Commanders. Giving the Eagles fits.
Yeah.
What can I say, man? The Eagles just haven't looked very good, and they're 7-1.
I was just going to say. Yeah.
But I'm not a guy that believes in what Bill Parcells said. You are what your record says. That's not how it works.
Agree with John.
If if you break down the games, you're not. I mean, the Steelers were 11-0 a couple years ago. They were nowhere close to an 11-0 team.
I knew you'd say that.
I mean, the Vikings won 11 games last year, one-score games. They were 11-0 in them. And then this year, complete opposite. So not exactly what your record says you are.
Am I the only one feeling this way when I'm watching this year? Just the craziness of a Denver team giving up 70 and then beating arguably probably one of the best teams in the league handily.
Holding them to 9 points.
Yeah, holding them to 9 points and scoring 24 or whatever it ended up being. Is this the craziest, really kind of season?
It's a division game.
We're expecting
games
No, you can't say it, JB. They beat the Broncos 16 straight times. You can't say that.
Division games, anything can happen.
Yeah,
they're like a coin flip because you know them. It's like playing your brother. You know them so well. There's nothing that's unexpected.
I would
hold on.
Any team can win a division game.
JB, let's use this as an example because I know everybody on this panel, besides maybe you right now, would absolutely agree with what I'm about to say. Do you think the Giants, in all seriousness, have a real chance any given Sunday against the Eagles? But exclude the motto of any given Sunday and all that. Like, do you think genuinely just because it's a division game? Because I don't.
Of course, you play them twice a year. You played them twice last year. You know everything about them. It doesn't mean that they will win, but if they have a better chance than any other team that has 2 wins.
It was
actually played them three times last year.
Was the Commanders giving the Eagles fits? The divisional deal is it's absolutely true because there's just so much history, and you play these teams twice. You play each other twice. So,
but even still, like if you see it, the Broncos give up 70 to Miami. Patrick Mahomes should put up more than 9 points against Denver, right?
Yeah.
And I don't buy the flu thing that he tried to throw out there after the game. Oh man, I was
they had that before the game.
And I have a quick side question. If the Falcons got knocked for what happened with Bijan, and Patrick Mahomes admitted to not feeling well Saturday night, why wasn't that on the injury report? Because this wasn't on the injury report.
It was.
I never heard anything about this. I never heard anything about.
I knew about it before the game.
His belly hurting or whatever.
No, John. They actually said he had flu-like symptoms before the game, and that he would play through it. I knew about this. I just kind of never said anything because I'm not going to lie to you both. I was playing somebody that had Patrick Mahomes this week in fantasy, and I genuinely just didn't want to say a word in case he was like, "Oh, let me pull him," in case Mahomes pooped the bed, kind of like he did, and I was afraid to say anything.
It just feels like an excuse. You got beat by Denver and you held to 9 points, and it feels like, well, let me pull that out of the hat because I had that I had that waiting.
But we knew about it before the game, so I don't know if that's. I don't know how legitimate of an argument that might be. Just because, like, I'm telling you for a fact, I remember hearing about it before the game, going, he might poop the bed tonight, and I would be okay with that. And he kind of did. But
bring on Alex.
All right. We got Alex back, so we want to bring him on JB.
Before we do that, why don't we do our read?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Jake?
John, would you like me to take care of this, or
sure.
Are you feeling so inclined?
Go for it.
Well, absolutely. Give me 2 seconds while I pull up our read, because this episode and every episode right now is sponsored by MyBookie. When your money's on the line, choose a trusted sportsbook that gives you the tools to win, like MyBookie. At MyBookie, it doesn't matter if your team is up or down. You can easily cash out or bet the game live to come out on the winning side. Use MyBookie for daily odds boosts, same-game parlays, and take advantage of huge prize pools. Every single sack, fumble, and touchdown is just another chance to hit payday. To get started, go to mybookie.ag, and on your first deposit, use promo code SIDELINE to grab a 50% deposit match up to $1,000. Try the MyBookie money bag to grab a potential Super Bowl frontrunner at long shot odds, plus 38,000 on the Eagles and Chiefs. Yes, please. You won't find odds like that anywhere else. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie. And remember, use code SIDELINE when you sign up. All right, I'll take over. JB, you all right?
He froze.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah. Oh, you look like you froze. We're going to bring back Alex on. You ready?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
You got first question. You made that clear pre-show. I want to give you the spotlight here.
So Alex,
Hey, I'm back.
transitioning from, how's it going? You can hear us?
I'm doing good. I can. Can you guys hear me?
Okay,
sure.
Cool. Yeah, we got
man,
you.
I told Jake I was an Eagles fan, and man, he just kicked me off.
I will not confirm nor deny that. I will not confirm
got
nor
the wrong
deny.
bird. You're in Atlanta.
Stay silent.
Wrong bird.
So, I mean, you were originally a football player. You played professional football for one of the leagues that had folded.
Right.
How was the transition from football to boxing? Were there any skills that you took from football into boxing?
I mean, to be honest with you, man, as everybody already knows, football is a contact sport. So, I mean, so is boxing. So for me, transitioning over to boxing was pretty much an easy transition. I mean, because it's contact regardless. One thing that I did actually love, one thing I do love about boxing versus football is that with boxing, it's pretty much like a one-on-one type of ordeal. It's a one-on-one sport. So if you lose, in this game, then it's pretty much your fault because it's pretty much, you and your team versus the ops. So if you lose, it's pretty much, it's on you. It's either you got worked, you got outskilled, versus football. I've been in situations, because I played on the defense side. I played outside linebacker and defensive end, and I've been in situations where we got the ball back for the offense, and the only thing the offense has to do is kick a field goal or win a touchdown or score a touchdown to win the game. And lo and behold, it's a turnover, and there's nothing you can actually do because you're on the opposite side. So that's one thing I love about boxing is, like I said, is one-on-one. If you lose, it's directly on you. Nobody else. You can't blame nobody else but yourself.
That's a fair point.
I'll tell you, Alex, I was sharing a story before you came on about meeting Larry Holmes when I worked on a TV show on HBO, and he offered to train me. And, I actually tried doing that speed bag thing. Mm-hmm. I don't know if any of you other guys have tried doing that speed bag that you guys make it look so easy, and they're going and they're doing tricks and they're going this. I could hit that doggone thing one time. I'd hit it and I almost hit myself in the head.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's the trick to the speed bag, right? So, like, even when I started off, like when I started off, when I first did the speed bag, I wanted to do everything I seen everybody else doing. I wanted to see, I wanted to do what Mayweather was doing with the speed, with the one hand, with the not looking at all, and still constantly hitting it, things of that nature. But it's more of just a practice type of ordeal when it comes to the speed bag. You just got to start off slow, and then when you start off slow, like even if you don't look good, hitting the speed bag, you just got to constantly start off slow, build your rhythm up, things of that nature. And then, like I said, with practice and everything, that makes perfect.
How tall are you, Alex?
I'm 6'6".
Okay. So, all right. I was just going to share, I was 6'7" when I was doing this thing. I kept hitting my knuckles on the side of the stupid wood thing too, because those things are like low.
Yeah. And then like you go into gyms and things of that nature where you can actually raise it, but then like I've been
you high quality.
Yeah, you can. No, but it's the thing though. You raise it, and then as you're hitting it, it eventually drops down, and I'm sitting there sometimes squatting trying to do the speed bag. So I know exactly what you mean.
I'm not gonna lie.
No, Alex,
I'd like to see that.
Alex, where and when are you fighting?
I'm fighting out of Atlanta, Georgia, and it's going to be in November the 11th at the Atrium.
Veterans Day.
And how can people get tickets?
Absolutely. You can actually go online. I'm going to be posting everything on my Instagram. As a matter of fact, follow my Instagram. I recently just had to get it back because I was off social media for a while, and I must tell you, man, the freedom of not having social media, it has its pros and cons, but I was definitely enjoying it. But I was told from my advisor I had to get back for fighting purposes, so I just got back on social media. Instagram is always hungry. The number 4 more.mos, and I'll be posting updates. Also, exactly. Always, I'll be posting the updates and also the links, things of that nature for the tickets.
Awesome. So one of the things reading your bio, you got into a major car accident, and you were out for a while. and you worked your way back into fighting shape and to be ready for this fight. How hard is it to overcome that adversity and to get back? I mean, to be a professional athlete when you go through something like that?
Man, it's definitely challenging. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's definitely challenging. I thank God, that He actually pulled me through it. But I mean, it's this not the first situation that I've been in. I've actually gotten shot one time back in 2006. Yeah. It's life has been happening, and at the end of the day, we all experience life in different ways and different formats. So you just pretty much just gotta roll with the punches and keep it moving. But like I said, I mean, I've been through this situation before. That's the reason why my alter ego, is the Man of Steel. Because I mean, not only that was my options going to feel when I hit him, as far as that steel, but at the end of the day, as far as like everything that I've overcome, through the adversity, things of that nature, it's very definitely challenging. Like I said, like you just mentioned, I got into a major car accident. I want to say like the beginning or like the middle of last year that actually took me out for a while. I fractured my back ribs, things of that nature. Had some pinched nerves problems as far as the neck, back. Had to get injections. I mean, the whole nine. But I mean, at the end of the day, as long as I'm still breathing, God is still have me here. I'm gonna live life regardless. And whatever goals I got set out, that's exactly what I want to do is achieve them.
I have to ask you about something completely unrelated to boxing at all.
Oh man, here we go.
Listen,
when I give you this answer, just don't disconnect me again. That's all I ask.
I make no promises. We'll see what happens.
All right.
You're from New Jersey, so it's nice to actually have somebody on this panel also from New Jersey. You're from Jersey City. So you're not even remotely close to Philly. Like if you would have told me you were from like Cherry Hill and you're down in South Jersey, I get how you're an Eagles fan. Totally makes sense. A lot of people, but you're from like close to New York.
Right.
How are you an Eagles
fan?
A
Giants fan, right?
What's up with that? Was there somebody in your family at least? Like, please tell me that was the case.
No, I mean to be honest with you, I'm really the only Eagles fan. To be honest with you, like most of my family 49ers fan. They're, of course, the Giants fans, and we got a couple of Cowboy fans in there as well. But I mean, at the end of the day, with me, I've always seen myself as a leader and not a follower. So whatever actually gravitates towards me, whatever I gravitate towards, then that's what I decide to go with. So and then with not to cut you off, but one thing I liked about the Eagles as far as the coaching, like when we had Andy Reid, man, I definitely admired Andy Reid as far as his just his whole play style and just the type of person that he is.
All right, so you're not a leader, but you're a follower, and you like following your team to losing. I got you.
Oh, well, I mean, if you check the record, I mean, I think we're doing pretty good this year. And last year, as a matter of fact, we should have had it last year.
But you lose Super Bowls, so I'm just saying,
I mean, but at the end of the day, I think we have the most recent Super Bowl win, though. What's your team again?
That's true.
That's fair.
What's your team again,
I'm a Giants fan.
Oh my God! Look, Jake, please, the next person. Can somebody else ask me a question, not Jake?
Well, I was just say, Alex, I'm a little behind the curve. I actually just flew in from Jersey.
Okay.
I left this morning. I was out there in Clifton at an NFL alumni golf tournament with a bunch of guys raising money for veterans out in Jersey. Nice. And of course, I catch the one day it rains. But it didn't rain during the golf deal, so that was nice. But
well, that's good.
I haven't been to Jersey in a minute, and it was actually a beautiful course. We had a great time.
Oh, Dave, you didn't even tell me you were in Clifton. I knew you were going to be in Jersey. You didn't even tell me where. I could have easily met you for lunch if you wanted. But I get it. Dave just didn't want to see me. That's
what it is. Nobody likes you, Jake. That's what it is, man.
Yeah. I'm sure you were, Dave. I'm sure you were.
So, Alex, one of the questions we were talking about before you, when you had your little technical issues, was why the Eagles struggle so much with Washington. I mean,
you know what? To be honest, when I watched that game, and I was highly, highly disappointed because, to be honest with you, I mean, with the Washington's record, things of that nature, it should have been an easy, it should have been an easy blowout because you see what we did to the Dolphins, and everybody was expecting for us to lose.
Easy there, easy.
Okay.
Well, you're not making any friends here.
I mean, it is what it is, But you see what we did to the Dolphins or whatnot. But we definitely should have, handled the Commandos with no issue. But at the end of the day, it really just depends on how the game goes, and the momentum and things of that nature that you build during that game. To be honest with you, Hurts had if you go back and look at that game, he had a good game and he also had a bad game, if that's even possible.
So I understand it.
Yeah, so it's like I said, it also depends on the actual, the momentum and everything too. Because I've been in situations where we play football and we should have beat a team, but everything started off bad, and at the end of the day too, it's your mindset too on how easy you can overcome adversity and get back to what you got to do.
Yeah, makes sense.
Interesting. So getting back to boxing,
okay.
Who do you model your style after?
My style. To be honest with you, I have a unique style because I don't try to model my style after just one person. I've been studying different people versus I have a strong right hand, very very powerful. So of course Deontay Wilder. I can move my feet, things of that nature, in my physique. It's also, and I'm 6'6", so of course I mirror Anthony Joshua. I've been studying James Toney. James Toney was one of the best back in the day. James Toney, Muhammad Ali, things of that nature, but definitely James Toney, the way his defense technique and things of that nature was with the Philly shell and just how he can just do different combinations and different defenses,
So you're a defensive guy, so you should be a Giants fan. That's what they're known for. I'm gonna keep harping on this.
Wait. Did you say the Giants are known for defense? Is that what you just said?
Absolutely. JB,
back me up on this. Can anybody mute Jake? Can you put him on mute?
We keep trying.
Up on this.
We keep trying. Hey,
Alex, back in the day, not anymore.
Oh, well,
what's that?
Their identity.
JB, go ahead.
Oh no! I was just saying that they used to be a defensive team. I don't know what they are right now.
So what do you weigh, Alex?
I weigh 250 pounds.
Okay, yeah. So you're a big boxer. Who's the English? And he was like 6'7". He was heavyweight
champion. Tyson Fury?
No. Anybody can chime in.
You got any?
You talking about Usyk?
Huh?
He's like from Ukraine. You talking about Usyk?
No.
I'm not
What does he
sure.
look like?
I thought Fury when you said
Holyfield, but it's not.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking was Tyson Fury.
No, but it's that era.
Yeah.
Anyways, I met him one night, and that's one of the reasons I didn't want to go into boxing because I thought I was big. And this cat, he's 6'7", 260, and was just a beast. And he was heavyweight champ on and off a couple of times around the Tyson Evander Holyfield era. But
you're not talking about Klitschko, are you?
No.
I don't know.
Sorry for that. Sorry.
I have no idea.
But at the end of the day, nowadays, the athletes are just, especially in boxing, man. Like I thought, like a lot of people come up to me and it was like they say, "Oh, you're a boxer? You should be playing basketball, things of that nature." But you'll be surprised. Yeah. It's some tall athletes in boxing. Tyson Fury is what 6? Is he 6'9"?
He's a monster.
I think he's 6. Yeah, I think he's like 6'9".
There are some big guys.
Yeah, it's matter of fact, my first amateur fight, I fought a guy. He was like 6'7", and his shoe size was like a 15 or a 16.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yikes.
So
it's a big boy.
Right, exactly. But God forbid. I ended up knocking him out in the second round. I got lucky, but at the end of the day, yeah.
You didn't get lucky. You earned
big,
it. Let's call it what it was. Come on. We're in your corner.
I'm trying to be modest. I have to be modest a little bit.
So, Alex, tell the WDJY 99.1 audience in Atlanta what they can expect out of you on the 11th.
Oh man, just don't miss it. It's like I said, it's been a long time coming for me. This is my my comeback fight, so I'm definitely trying to put on a show for everybody. Please bring out the family, the kids, things of that nature. you're definitely going to see the best out of me because, like I said, it's been a long time coming, and these hands right here definitely has been itching for a body. Pause.
Do you have any words? Do you have any words for your opponent?
I mean, bring your A game because you're definitely gonna need it. Definitely bring your A game.
Alex,
bring your A game for sure.
This dude, Lennox Lewis.
Oh, Lennox Lewis. Okay.
Yeah.
He was sitting there looking up the whole time.
I'm thinking current people. He's going way back.
I'm like, I don't know who's he talking about.
No, way back. No,
I'm
old. Guys, I'm old. Everybody I talk about is old.
So is JB, but it doesn't
Lennox,
mean,
Lennox was a monster, so Lennox will probably make you not want to box because he's an animal.
Absolutely. You see what he did to Tyson?
Yep.
Hey, man.
So Alex,
and a powerful quick jab, too.
Yep.
Well, where can people reach out, Alex?
Say it one more time.
Oh, where can people reach at?
Where can people reach me at?
Yeah, or follow you and your career.
On Instagram. Like I said, it's the name of the Instagram is Always Hungry, and it's the number 4, and then it's more.mos.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Well, we definitely appreciate you taking the time, man.
Yes,
Best of luck to you.
Hey,
remember,
man,
November 11th, if you're in the Atlanta area, make sure you go see Alex Jabbour and his comeback fight. This man got some power, got some speed. He does a little bit of everything. You're going to want to watch him.
Got some heart.
Also, just a quick shout out real quick, man. Just shout out to JB Promotions for making this all possible. Giving me the opportunity as well. Shout out to Gwen, my advisor at Eros Boxing. So, if anybody's looking for any type of guidance, any type of management, things of that nature, definitely hit her up. And also a shout out to Hoop TV. Basically, it's a social media platform that's actually just coming out. So it has everything from podcasts to news to social media, anything on there. Definitely want to check it out. It's upcoming and rising for sure. And also, when I just seen, it also has like some things for the kids as far as like movies, TV shows. So if you guys are interested, have kids, things of that nature, look it up. It's definitely something you want to invest in.
Good stuff.
Very cool.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely.
We appreciate it, Alex. Best of luck to you, man.
Hey, thank you so much, man. You guys have say that again.
I said we're looking forward to your fight. Go.
Oh, okay. There we go. There we go, Jake. I thought you was about to say something else.
Kick his ass, Alex. Go get him.
All right.
And go Giants. Don't forget that. Go Giants.
Get out of here. Mute him.
No.
All right. Well, getting back to the Eagles, even though Alex isn't here, A.J. Brown, is he unstoppable? He just broke Calvin Johnson's record, 125 yards, 6 straight games.
Oh, I know what John's going to say, I think. What is it, John?
Yeah, John.
It's just been
You're shaking your head.
I mean, no, like this is insane. We've never seen this in the history of the NFL. 6 straight 125-yard games. Not Tyreek Hill, not Calvin Johnson, not Jerry Rice. Nobody's ever done this. Like this is, his history, and it's so amazing what he's done. I don't feel like he's gotten enough attention for how great he's played lately. It's just been absolutely off the charts. It's fun to watch.
And especially a team that's not known for their passing prowess. I mean, you think of Eagles, and they just want to run the ball and grind you and then smother you with defense. You don't think about if you were to go through the list of teams, if you were to ask me, okay, pick the team that's got the this record for a receiver, I would say the Eagles are going to be on the bottom third. Would be not knowing what's going on.
Just based on the way they play. And it's not like he's played bad teams either. He's played some solid defenses, especially pretty much right in the middle of it was the Jets. I know they lost that game, but does it really matter? He played a very good defense. Like that's an impressive stat line. He had 131 on 7 receptions. That's unbelievable.
Well, they also have other weapons on that team too. Smith,
absolutely,
Goddard,
of course.
DeAndre Swift.
That's what I'm saying.
They have other weapons that get the ball, and he still continues to produce at that level despite all the other talent, that does get the ball as well.
Does that make it easier for him or harder for him?
I would imagine that would make it harder, right? Because
I would
those
think
guys
so.
want the ball too. And like Dave said, the Eagles are a run first team, so they're going to run with Hurts. They're going to run with Swift. They got Goddard, who's been lighting it up lately. Smith had a huge game. It doesn't seem to affect anything with Brown's put out.
I mean,
Hey, are we going to have Raphael today?
No, he's unavailable. He has a media thing.
I want to know what the odds. I want to know what the odds are on the 7th.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
We'll ask him on the Sunday morning show.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, when we talk to him.
I'll tell you one thing that there's a lot of injuries too, and we were talking about earlier. Just this season being a little bit nuts with parity, and you just never know. But the other thing that is just almost not rampant, but every game is our guys getting serious injuries, and Kirk Cousins is getting the Achilles and having a season ended where he was, I think, having a great season. Is a shame.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Do you guys think it's the turf? What do you think it is? It's causing. We're seeing a lot of Achilles and knees and things like that.
Well, I do not know this personally, but I have a lovely girlfriend, and she's gonna be mad at me that I'm calling her out at all. But whatever, she'll deal with it. She's studying physical therapy, and we were talking about it the other day. And she said, so for the Achilles injuries, one of the reasons that you're seeing what you're seeing is nothing to do with turf or grass. It's the way the guys are playing. And what I mean by that, and what she explained to me, was the reason you saw the way his Achilles, the way that pop, that's because of the fact that if you watch when he plants his leg, he's basically turning the other way. So his muscle's wanting to go one way, and he's turning the other way. So he's basically fighting his muscle.
But that has everything to do with the turf. Because
No.
the turf, when you stick your foot in, your foot doesn't move.
Doesn't move.
It doesn't move. And when you go to move, but your foot stays, guess what happens, Jake?
Oh, that's not what it is.
Well, but Jake, it is a little bit, because in grass, no matter if you're fighting against muscle, that cleat's is just gonna move even so slightly to give the release that's necessary. Yep. There's no release at all with turf. And the reason why I say this, guys, is because the biggest topic, I think we've talked about this a couple of times on the show, and that is in the next collective bargaining, turf is almost like the number one topic. All the current players are saying that the owners need to fork over money and make sure that every stadium has grass. It's been proven it can be done. Even with the stadiums, yes, it costs a big chunk of money, more so for some than others. But that is going to be almost like the thing that needs to get passed.
That's the hot button issue, number one.
If you've never played on turf, the very first time you play on turf, Jake, and your foot gets stuck and you go to turn, you're almost lose your breath. Your heart almost skips a beat because your ankle stops and you go to turn and you're like, oh crap. For that split second, you're like, oh crap, is my foot coming off the turf or is it going to stay? Because if it stays, guess what happens? Something down there is not going to go right. It's not fun playing on turf.
So Jake, your girlfriend is correct in the movement, which is causing this. But my point is that with any other surface, that there is some give, and there's enough give in a lot of instances where it will not have that snapping point. It's just we can't blame it all on turf, but that was
what I was trying to say. Yeah,
there's just enough turf injuries, like I said, if it wasn't an issue, then it wouldn't be a topic.
I guess what I was trying to say.
I really like Kirk Cousins as a dude. I think we've discussed that too.
You just brought that up last week, and look what happened. Don't do that to anybody else.
Well, I know. I'm turning into the cover of the Madden game.
He did say before the season how Aaron Rodgers was a really good dude off the field, and
Austin Eckler.
And Austin Eckler. He mentioned Eckler too.
I did. Oh my gosh, John, you're calling me out.
There's plenty of players.
I don't like anybody else.
Receipts.
Here's the good news. I don't like anybody else. Those are the only guys I like.
All right, good. Well, I guess what I was trying to say, Dave and John, I didn't mean it like the turf isn't the problem. I wanted you guys, I don't know what you both know, and I had no idea. Like, I didn't know that's the actual science behind it. Like, yeah, I can figure it out. I'm not stupid. I can see what happens. But she was giving me insight. And I was like, oh, well, that explains it. That the muscle goes one way, and you basically fight it so hard that it just it gives. Like, it physically cannot handle anymore. So,
but you can't help it as a player because you're trying to make a play. Like, you don't have time to stop and think, well, maybe I should, not turn.
Of course not.
You don't expect your ankle or your whatever to stay.
No. And that's such a routine, probably, that they also, that's the other thing. I mean, like, Dave, you can attest to this. You saw what happened to Kirk, right? But like that motion of turning, how often do you probably do that, throughout a season? It's probably a pretty natural thing to
It's a freak injury.
Do those kinds of things. Am I right to say that?
Yep. Well, everything we do is repetitive. Yep.
All right. Well, that's not what I meant, but yes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But what does it do to the Vikings now? I mean, they were finally starting to win. What was this, 3 in a row?
Yep.
Back in the division race, and that's it. I mean, as
so
bad as everyone talks about. Great question.
Who's the back? I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like this just kind of opens the door even wider for the Lions. Like, if the Lions cannot win this division,
well,
there's a very
there's no competition. The Vikings
that's what I'm saying.
Josh
I heard the Vikings traded for the kid out of Arizona.
For Dobbs. Yeah. They traded for Dobbs.
I said this last week. I said the pumpkin, the pumpkin, the clock, it popped. The pumpkin popped. The glass, the glass slipper fell off. Midnight struck for Josh Dobbs. You saw how bad he played last week.
Yeah.
He was awful. I don't know why Minnesota traded for him. I think that the first 2 weeks where he played well, I think that was an anomaly, and I think defensive coordinators have figured him out, and he's just not that good. Once they figured him out, I think he's not that good.
He's got a better chance in Minnesota than he did in Arizona, and I think we can agree with that. I mean, not that he's going to be great,
what
but
he is.
Oh, I'm just saying he's got a better chance to succeed, and I think,
like, watch that Ravens game, Jake, and he's making.
They must have saw some of him, though.
Oh, I don't deny that.
They must have saw some of him that they made the trade, though.
Watch that Ravens game, and he's throwing into spaces where it's like that. Even the announcers were like, "What is he looking at?" Because there's 2 Ravens there, and there's a receiver like 3 yards behind, and he's throwing into double coverage, and the announcers are like, "What does he see?" Because everybody else sees that there's nothing there.
I am not disagreeing whatsoever. I just think if you're the Vikings, they probably think, well, I think they're wrong, but that's not the point. We're in the thick of this division race, ironically. Like, they actually have a chance without Kirk without Kirk being hurt.
Right.
They had a chance at the division. So they're thinking, screw it. Why give up on a chance to win the division? Like, why just throw in the towel? I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just trying to get in the minds of what they're thinking. And that's my guess is like, well, why not? What's the worst that happens?
Best available deal.
They didn't spend much.
Yeah, it was probably the best available deal to help their team.
You can't tell me he was a better pickup than Carson Wentz. You can't tell me that.
Carson Wentz is why? Why would you want him?
You know
what he did 2 years ago in Indianapolis? That's better than Josh Dobbs.
He quits on his team.
Hold on, JB. I'll ask you this because I think you might agree with me, and I'm just curious to get your opinion. Would you prefer a Carson Wentz off the couch or Josh Dobbs? Even just forget talent, but just based on strictly what I'm about to say. Josh Dobbs, who's been playing all season, or Carson Wentz off the couch?
Dobbs all day.
But it's going to take
I don't want it. I don't want anything to do with a guy that quits on his team. A guy that quits on his team is a cancer that's going to destroy the locker room.
But regardless,
bad enough you're going through, John. Bad enough you just lost your leader. Now you're going to bring in a cancer. What chance?
But it's going to take 4 to 5 weeks for either of them to get the system and understand their playbook and all that. It's going to take at least a month before Wentz or Dobbs would have learned that system / playbook. So it's not like you're getting Dobbs that knows this system right off the bat.
But you have Dobbs in game shape at least.
Maybe Wentz.
So your chances of making plays are better.
We don't know what shape Wentz is in.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
Oh, Dave, maybe you can chime in here.
I don't do the what ifs. They took Dobbs, and I don't see either one saving him. So it's kind of a little bit of a moot point. It's just I thought it was a shame the Cousins. You're getting longer into his career, just like Aaron Rodgers. That's a tough one to come off of when you're finally putting something together and can go out with some victories, and it was just kind of tough. But since we're talking about trades, though, there were a couple of decent trades, and unfortunately, I thought the Seahawks pulled off a decent one, got some help on the defensive line with Leonard Wheeler. The Giants just kind of gave him away.
Leonard Wheeler,
which was nice.
Williams,
but then the doggone Niners go out and pick up Chase Young. Oh my gosh!
For nothing.
Dave,
it was for free.
Oh my gosh!
Hold on. Before we go any further, can I just steal the floor for 2 seconds to talk about our sponsor?
Yeah.
Would that be okay? Is that all right? Dave, I know you want to talk
about
it. I do too.
Go ahead.
When your money is on the line, choose a trusted sportsbook that gives you the tools to win, like MyBookie. At MyBookie, it doesn't matter if your team is up or down. You can easily cash out or bet the game live to come out on the winning side. Use MyBookie for daily odds boosts, same-game parlays, and take advantage of huge prize pool contests. Every single sack, fumble, and touchdown is another chance to hit payday. To get started, go to mybookie.ag, and on your first deposit, use promo code SIDELINE to grab a 50% deposit match up to $1,000. Try the MyBookie money bag to grab a potential Super Bowl frontrunner at long shot odds, plus $38,000 on the Eagles and Chiefs. I'm in. You won't find odds like that anywhere else. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie using code SIDELINE. All right, back to the conversation.
Real quick, with MyBookie, remember those boxes with the numbers that you see for the Super Bowl? You could do that on all the NFL games, all the college games. So you don't even need to know about sports gambling. If you listen to us at 7:45 and you just want to have some fun on Thursday Night Football tomorrow night, you just want to number the box, go to MyBookie, make a deposit, buy a box. You don't need to know who's going to win. Just luck of the draw, 1 out of 100. They start as low as $3.
Yep.
So use code SIDELINE, get some extra money, and go enjoy it.
Can't beat that.
I'll tell you. I put $100 on the Niners to win the Super Bowl, and that was before their third loss. I'm like, oh no. Then I saw that trade. I'm like, okay, good. I'm back my money. It was like I think it was like plus 480. So that's gonna be pretty good.
And by the way, that traded they got him for free. Do you know what they traded? Yeah. They traded DeMeco Ryans, their defensive coordinator last year, who's now the head coach of the Texans. They traded him for Chase Young. The way that happened was they get a compensatory pick for DeMeco Ryans, which is a third rounder, which they essentially gave to the Commanders, which means they traded DeMeco Ryans, their defensive coordinator, for the number 2 overall pick in the draft from a couple years ago, who's an animal. How insane is that? Oh, and
you want to hear how it gets more wild?
And Nick Bosa played together at Ohio State.
Yeah.
Do you want to know how it gets more wild, though?
And he needed, I think, a change of scenery. He's. I'll tell you what. You put him with that linebacker and and he's gonna be geeked. I'm really kind of afraid. I'm afraid for everybody in the NFC West now.
I don't want to make
John. They're just going to come after everybody.
John, I don't want to make you more upset, but here's something wild that I also found out as I was reading up about this. Chase Young, as we all know, is on the last year of his contract. Do you know what happens if Chase Young chases money and goes somewhere else?
They get another draft pick back. They get that third round pick back for him.
They sure do. So what I heard is we got rid of DeMeco Ryans. We got a third rounder. We took that third rounder and got Chase Young. They could potentially take him, win a Super Bowl, rent him out just for the year, then lose him and get the pick back and get him for free, basically. Again.
Yeah.
That's why they were a good team. That's why their front office does what they do. That's what good teams do.
Lynch is a good GM.
Aside from the Trey Lance thing, which if it
gets that's taking a chance on a player, though. I mean, that happens.
Yeah,
it happens.
The wheeling dealing,
he's perfect.
Yeah,
but when you're basically trading for a guy and losing absolutely nothing, and if you lose what you lost, you're getting it back.
Yes,
I mean, it's insane.
You lose a defensive coordinator, get one of the best defensive players, and potentially get that pick back anyway. That's awesome.
You know a guy who everybody wants to trade? James Harden. Everybody's traded him.
Yeah.
I'm
surprised there's still teams that want him. I hate watching him play. He cries more than LeBron. If he loses the ball, he flails his hands. He falls on the ground. He doesn't. Yeah, he can score, but he's not even fun to watch score. There's some dudes that are just, they just, put the net on fire, and you just watch them like Steph Curry. You just can't wait for that next sweet, deal or whatever play. But James, he just, I don't get it. Has he been on a winning team?
No. Well,
he's been to one.
Define winning team, like winning a championship.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Maybe he's touted as
years ago in high school.
I don't get it.
And think about how much the Clippers gave up too. They gave up like a good amount to get him. Like maybe somebody else can explain this to me. Why would you trade for a guy that you don't need in terms of you already have the star power, so you don't need to put butts in seats. You already have enough guys on your roster in terms of like talent. You'll be fine in that regard. And you're getting a guy that's going to pout and most likely ask out within the next calendar year. For what reason would you trade for him? Like maybe I'm missing something, so that's why I ask that. But to me, it just doesn't make any sense.
And I was waiting for
confused since Brooklyn.
I was waiting for Fat Suit to come out so he could get out of Philly.
Strip club and Fat Suit.
I've been confused since Brooklyn. Since Brooklyn, I'm lost. How that team just imploded, but
he's a
why
cancer.
anyone would trade for him?
He's a cancer.
If you're going to trade for him, why trade so much?
Durant. I wouldn't want any of them.
But that's the thing. It's not like they traded some garbage for him. They traded valuable assets, not just picks, but players. They dealt guys back.
JB, you're right. I mean, Harden's never won anything. Westbrook's never won anything. And the only time Durant won anything, he had to go and join the greatest team, arguably the greatest team in NBA history, 73-win Golden State, in order to do it. So that's the only time he ever won a championship. Out of that, that's the only time those three have ever been associated with the championship collectively, any of those three. Because Harden's never done it, Westbrook's never done it, and the one time those three were in the finals together, they lost to the Heat. So they're not winners.
Together once.
They're not winners.
So I think before we get done here, I think we got at least talk about the World Series a little bit and a couple pretty big injuries.
Yeah,
taken off the roster.
But doesn't seem to be really affecting them, huh? They seem to be pretty okay on offense, at least. Big night. I mean,
losing.
They're about to have a commanding lead.
But losing Garcia is a big loss, a huge loss.
Yeah, but they don't even seem to be affected by this. Is what I'm saying.
They just lost. Him.
Oh, geez, yeah, but I think they're fine.
They played.
I think they're fine.
10 plus runs. I think they're doing okay.
Yeah, I did love
to have a commanding lead.
I guess they're rallying.
and the thing with Max Scherzer was, it was we'll use him in Game 7. That was the plan if it got to Game 7. At this rate, it may not get past Game 5. So when you think about it like that, it's yes, it sucks, no doubt, because he's very talented. But if they're gonna finish it off in Game 5, it means nothing because Max Scherzer wasn't gonna pitch again that soon. There's no way.
He had back
at his age, no chance.
Anyway, and he had back problems.
And what's amazing is how good they've done on the road.
Yeah,
they're unbeatable on the road. That's
they just can't win at home.
Home's another story. Home, it's 50-50.
But for them, it's good because they're going to be on the road for the next game. So they're going to be, I don't know. Maybe you go on my bookie and you bet the Rangers to win.
I would definitely do that.
Win the World Series in this last Game 5, possibly. I don't know. If you do, use code Sideline.
It's a good idea.
I'm considering the bet. I'm just saying. I like what I've seen. This makes me confident, but I do think it's time to wrap up. So, JB, I'll give the floor to you to wrap us up here, do our thing.
So, this is, again, Sideline Sports. WDJY 99.1. Make sure you're following us on all social media. Jake will give that to you before we wrap up. But I'm JB_the program on Twitter. We got plenty other shows if you follow us. We got shows 7 nights a week. Make sure you're with us and all this great content. Dave?
Yeah, I'm Dave DeRocher. So just look up Dave DeRocher. And then we do a little show called Hawk Talk that's coming up next, actually, and with Walter Thurman and Trey Madden. And we do that every single week. And that's about it. Oh, and we're going to be launching, there's going to be an Atlanta Falcons show coming up with Terrell Buckley and Fred McCrary. So stay tuned for that.
John?
Sideline Sports, of course. NFL Alumni Media. Make sure you check me out. Blue Hawks 13 on Twitter. And make sure you check us out Sundays at noon. And obviously 7 to 8 Wednesday mornings. And that's about it for me.
All right. And you guys can find me all over social media. Just look up Jake Malik. I'm everywhere. But more importantly, like JB said, you can find Sideline Sports on all your social media. So same thing with them. Just go on social media, search up Sideline Sports. You will find us. We're on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, everything you could possibly think of. Dave, I know you got to tell the people to do something.
Well, everyone just be good humans. We'll see you next week.
That's right. And we'll see you guys next time.